Alright, welcome to another Vintage League here. They were trying out goblins, but with a bit of a Storm Nether Void twist, and we're trying one of the new Hobbit cards here in Bolg Erebor's Reckoning, which I think is pretty cool. I think this is from the Commander part of the set, not the normal set. 6/6 Trampler for 6. Beginning of each combat, other goblins and orcs you control get +2/+2 until end of turn, and then creatures your opponents control get -1/-1. So that's beginning of your combat and beginning of opponent's combat, which is pretty interesting. That just seems like a pretty great way of winning the game if you can get this into play with a couple of goblins and then just have a huge amount of power. Everything gets +2/+2 on your side. So I do want to try that out. I think if we can get that out with like a Dark Ritual or a Black Lotus or something, we've got a couple goblins in play. That should be pretty good. But the main reason, we're playing goblins today, other than to try Bolg, is because of Hexing Squelcher. Hexing Squelcher is pretty good in Vintage. I think it's finally over the last month or, couple months here, really starting to, show its promise. So we're trying it today in order to do a couple of things. It can protect a few of our combos. We've got a couple of combos in this deck. But Hexing Squelcher, its main thing is that it can't be countered, and it makes all of our spells can't be countered either. And then other creatures get ward, pay 2 life, which it can be relevant. But what we mainly want this here to do is to protect our combos. So things that can counter our combos, our actual counter spells, are things like Void Mirror and Vexing Bauble. All that stuff can normally counter Beseech the Mirror. I win combos because with Beseech the Mirror, you can sacrifice and bargain something, and then you can play a card for free. So like with Beseech the Mirror and Dark Ritual, you can go Dark Ritual, Beseech, sack a Moxen, get Yawgmoth's Will, replay the Dark Ritual, replay the Moxen, replay the Beseech the Mirror, potentially get another Beseech the Mirror if you need more Storm, and then you can win with Tendrils of Agony as a nice Tendrils kill here. But if your opponent's got like a full group of counters, that's not going to resolve, right? So Hexing Squelcher is really nice to be able to help that combo there to resolve. We've also got another combo we'll go through in a second here, the Goblins combo. But if you are in a position where you cannot win with Tendrils of Agony, you have other options with your Beseech. We are playing 3 Cavern of Souls, and we are playing 3 Hexing Squelcher, which can make these make our goblins uncounterable. These make all of our spells uncounterable. So if you are going first, if you're going first, you probably cannot on turn 1 win with a Tendrils kill unless you get like a really bonkers hand. But you can go and get a Nether Void. And then you can use your Cavern of Souls and your Hexing Squelcher to be able to play through the Nether Void. Nether Void counters your spells, so you can still play spells, that are uncounterable. The trigger goes on the stack, but if you got a Cavern out or your Hexing Squelcher out, your stuff doesn't actually get countered. So you can just play through the Nether Void. So the idea is like, let's say you go, Moxen, Land, Dark Ritual, Beseech. Use the bargain on Beseech to get Nether Void, play it for free on turn 1. Your opponent probably can't do anything, right? Because you've got Nether Void in play. And you just need to find or have a Cavern of Souls or a Squelcher, and then you can play through it. So that's pretty interesting. That's kind of the idea there. We'll see how that plays out. You can also just use Beseech the Mirror to set up the Goblins combo, though. The Goblins combo is mainly you need Conspicuous Snoop and Recruiter in play. So this can just find part of that combo as well. Or, a Munitions Expert if you really need to remove something, but, So our Goblins combo is with Goblin Recruiter and Conspicuous Snoop to set it up. You use Goblin Recruiter to stack your deck, Conspicuous Snoop to play cards from the top and use this ability. So normal pile is, let's say you go turn 1, land, Moxen, Goblin Recruiter. Actually, it's a bad example. let's say you got a Mox Ruby for this example. You go Cavern of Souls, Mox Ruby, and you've got another Badlands at hand, okay? So you play the Goblin Recruiter, and on top of your deck you put Conspicuous Snoop on top, and then below it, Torch Courier, and below it, Kiki Jiki. So next turn you untap, you play your land, you play Conspicuous Snoop from hand, Torch Courier on top of your library, so you can play that using the ability of Conspicuous Snoop. You sack Torch Courier to give Snoop haste. Now the top card of your library is Kiki Jiki. You just target Snoop with its own Kiki Jiki ability that it has now, because Kiki is up your library, and you make like 25 copies of Conspicuous Snoop. Then you retarget the Goblin Recruiter, and you put Sling-Gang Lieutenant on top. Now all of your Conspicuous Snoops have the Sling-Gang ability, and you just sack 20 of them to kill your opponent. So we can win with that combo. We can win with Tendrils. We can win just with Goblin's Beatdown, either with like Bolg, and Lackey, Sling-Gang, that kind of thing, attacking. Boggart Trawler is also, just a nice goblin here, as well as a land. Or we can try and lock our opponent out with Nether Void and then just win with little beats. So all of those are options here in the main deck, which is pretty cool. I like how Hexing Squelcher kind of protects both plans. I think that's pretty nice. Other cards in the deck, we covered this one as part of the combo. That's just an I win button. Sling-Gang's part of the combo, but can also help on the aggro beatdown plan. Combo. Boggart Trawler is a goblin, so you can play it from the top of your library with Snoop, but it's also just a nice a land and graveyard hate. Combo, this is tutorable with either with Goblin Recruiter or Beseech. You need a removal spell. Demonic Tutor, obviously, Dark Ritual for this. Torch Courier, part of the combo. Vexing Bauble, all the fast mana. And then, the lands here. And Lackey can help. It can, do something silly, like put a Bolg into play. They can also just put a Snoop into play Uncounterable, or a Goblin Recruiter into play Uncounterable with a mana advantage. And that can let you combo out faster if you don't have to pay for one of these, but you have both. So I think Lackey's pretty interesting here. And we can kind of have it set up as we can kind of sideboard into an aggressive Goblins deck here if we want to do that. I've had Battle Cry Goblin in other versions of Goblins before. It's done very well in Legacy too. And we have plenty of mana in this deck, especially with our Dark Ritual here. We can, activate this twice, sometimes 3 times, I expect pretty easy, which gets very scary very fast. You got a couple of goblins in play. And, another Munitions Expert and Hexing Squelcher, depending on the matchups there. But a lot of our sideboard is dedicated to 4 Dauthi Voidwalkers and 4 Leyline in the Voids, which is just graveyard hate, and also combos with Leyline. So against decks that care about the graveyard, I'm thinking Bizarre decks. I'm also thinking potentially the new Bilbo decks. The new Bilbo Lurrus decks. Bilbo's probably, not probably, Bilbo is definitely the best card in the new set. I really want to play it. It's like 80 ticks or something silly online right now. So as long as it's at that level, I will not be playing it, but I will. I want to play it with like Intuition. You can use Intuition to grab like Manifold Key, Time Vault, and then either they give you a Manifold Key or a Time Vault, right? And then Bilbo can play the other one from the graveyard. So like turn 1, land Mox Bilbo. Turn 2, if you can get to your end of your opponent's turn without having to like play something, you can just Intuition for the win just by getting Time Vault Key. Because one of them costs 1 less mana, so you only need 3 mana there in order to win. So you definitely have enough mana to win, which is pretty cool. But I don't have Bilbos now, so I can't play, that deck yet. The Intuition Bilbo yet, but I would like to. The other Bilbo deck I was thinking about was like Scam. Similarly, like a Scam Reanimator deck, you've got Entombs, right? You can Entomb for a card and then play it with Bilbo. Like you can Entomb for Time Walk, or you can Entomb for part of Vault Key or something like that, or even just like Entomb for Reanimate and then Reanimate an attraction in your graveyard with Bilbo. Like all that stuff's possible. I think could be pretty interesting. But anyway, so Bilbo is really good, and it's played with Lurrus and Flow State. And the idea here is, I think against that kind of a deck, maybe we can board into like 4 Leyline in the Void, 4 Dauthi Voidwalker, and then that opens up Beseech the Mirror into Helm of Obedience lines to win. We're bringing our 4th Hexing Squelcher to protect us. And of course, obviously, we bring this in against Countervine, we bring this in against Dredge. Yeah. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, you don't need this plan. You can like completely change this sideboard if you want just like normal cards. And that is obviously completely fine. Like we could play like, I don't know. There's plenty of stuff you could play in the sideboard here. That is reasonable. You could play like Thoughtseize. That's a reasonable Magic card. Anyway, I think that's about it. Let's jump into the league here. See you in round 1. All right, here we go. I think that's just too slow. We'll keep that. And let's do it like that. Maybe if they're mulling to 5, we should be having both trawlers, but I don't know. I could see keeping both trawlers because of the mull and thinking they're on Dredge, but maybe they're not on Dredge. They're not on Dredge, okay. You got more? We're getting second main phase stop. We thinking about something? Goblin. Red. All right. Found a Tinker. I found a Moxen. An Academy. That's very scary. Let's see if they got a counter spell, I guess. So if they don't kill us this turn, oh boy, freezing. We can try and win. If they do kill us this turn, which is unlikely because they brainstormed. We know the top two, but certainly could happen. Red, the Goblin Recruiter. Let's do and might as well get the Torch Courier in play, right? Cheeky, Torch Courier. I think if it just doesn't work, we just die probably, but put the chosen cards. I haven't done this in a minute. The first card clicked will be the last card drawn. So first card clicked is last card drawn. I used to play Mob most recently with this combo in Value Vintage before this deck got too expensive. We only have Sling-Gang Lieutenant, which is a more expensive card. And yeah, at least 19, probably like 21 in case something weird is in their hand. I think we have enough now. 9, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more for good measure. Put Sling-Gang on top. Done. Yeah, there we go. So, no Lurrus, blue, black, artifacty stuff. All right. Yep. 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 And so here's the question. Do we just try and jam now, or do we play the Hexing Squelcher first and try and live another turn? I think it's try and live another turn. Okay. Maybe that was wrong. Feel in trouble now. Feel very much in trouble. Time walk. Or he's going to get beseeched. I think we're going to die to beseech here. I guess I should have just jammed the Nether Void. Oh well. Anticlimactic. Ah. Yeah. Should have just jammed my my Nether Void. Oh well. Um. Hmm. I don't think we can win yet. We beseech, sack the Jet. Beseech, get Yawgmoth's Will, replay Jet, replay Dark Ritual, replay Beseech. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 14 damage. Not enough. I think we had to draw another Mox in. This is really tough. I don't think the Nether Void is good enough anymore. If we get like a Black Lotus, we can cast Conspicuous Snoop, which lets us set up a win next turn if we don't die horribly. But I feel like if we pass the turn, there's a very good chance that we die horribly, right? Don't think there's any way to win this. I guess we just gotta jam something. I think we're dead, but it's about as good as it gets otherwise. Alright, well, I guess hitting them for 14 might have been enough. Maybe just hitting them for 14 was the right call. Yeah, P.O. Yeah, I think I had to just Nether Void the first turn there. That was a mistake. If our top card would have been Kiki Jiki, we could have won, funnily enough, if the next card because of the Torch Courier. I made a bunch of mistakes there. Getting them the 14 actually would have won. Just think jamming the Nether Void probably would have won. I played scared and it cost me. Oh well. Would have been pretty sweet. I don't know. I'm curious if you're watching this. Do you think that playing the Squelcher first and then going for a turn 2 Nether Void was the right play, or think I played it too scared? I don't think this does anything. Turn 1 Squelcher. What, turn 2 Bog Squelcher? It's not ideal, but I mean, it's got past the win, so I think I keep it. Yeah, I think our chance was just jamming the Nether Void last turn, not this. You got a blocker? This feels like they got what's it called again? Gotta throw in front. A repeal. Okay. Um, it's not bad. Yeah. See if we die here. Yep. Sure. Ooh. That's good against us here. Yeah. No response. That is good. And we could get Vexing Bauble, I guess. I think we have to get Goblin Recruiter, right? It's a pretty good dress down. We couldn't win. We could have won last turn. They didn't have a force with that dress down. Alright, so they got a PO here. They probably win. There definitely was a case to get the bauble. But, like, if we got the bauble, they could just make... Oh, shit. If we're dead. If we got the bauble, they could just start making constructs. And if we don't find our guy naturally, we die. This is an interesting turn. Yeah, that's bad. PO. Black, black, green. What is black, black, green? Oh, that's PO. But they tapped wrong. No, it's on purpose. Black, black, green. I think that must have been a tap wrong, right? Mm-hmm. We put Kiki Jiki on top. All right. We got there. A little bit of a weird one. I do wonder if they had a way of winning and missed tap, but maybe they They could have had a Yawgmoth's Will and didn't realize they played a land already, and then realized it afterwards. I think that's possible. But did with the top draw, it did feel like they may have had a something, a PO, but who knows? Okay, here we go. Yes, we have our fancy new. We've got our fancy new avatar here, Tom Bombadil, Lord of the Rings. Pretty cool. I mean, these are lands. We can go turn 1 Lackey, turn 2 Recruiter, try and win turn 3. Is that good enough? Not sure, to be honest. If we draw like a Dark Ritual or a Lotus next turn, in theory we could Beseech, get a Conspicuous... No, we can't even sack it because we don't have a... We can't... I think this is actually a bad hand, knowingly. This is not a good hand either. We have to draw red mana for this hand to do anything. I should have kept the first one. Alright. Okay, we're keeping this. So we need... We need 5... What? I want 7 of these cards. Do we just have to bin these 2 and then pray we draw stuff? I don't love that. But without everything else, we can't guarantee the Nether Void resolves, right? So I think it's these 2 on the bottom. Chancellor. Play. Pay 3 life. They have double Chancellor trigger, so I see. So our next spell gets countered, guaranteed. If that is the case, Oh boy. I think we just throw out the crypt and kill the crypt. That potentially kills us. No. No. Black. Oh, my Squelcher back, not my Vexing Bauble now. Squelcher is important in this scenario. Maybe I screwed up. Yeah, I should have just played the Vexing Bauble. Yeah, I think I screwed up. Yeah, I definitely screwed up. All right. I was thinking they can play Moxen now. Yeah. That doesn't work. They can play Moxen now. Okay, we need a Cavern. We need a Cavern. Yeah, that works. Wish I had my Vexing Bauble in play. Yeah, we need that Squelcher. If this was a Squelcher instead of the Vexing Bauble, we drew a red mana source, then we could combo out later. Afterwards. Alright, Goblin. Red. It's fine. No. We can't combo because we don't have two red sources, annoyingly. But we can get a Squelcher. They can play a 3-drop next turn, which is annoying. I think this came like a turn too late. Maybe 2 turns too late. Sure. Okay. Well, fair enough. That costs 4 now. Shit. Alright, well, that's a problem. I mean, we had a mull to 5, which was tough. On 7, we definitely win this, but oh well. Sometimes you gotta mulligan. I think we can probably scoop this up now. It's just so sad. We just had nothing. I don't know. That's very frustrating. Try that. All right, we're on the play. Um, Alright, well, we have to do this thing, which is kind of fun. Alright, that's pretty silly. But I'll take it, I guess. I think on the draw, our odds are so bad. I am considering boarding into the Leyline of the Void combo to try and cheese a win. Because the Goblin Lackey is just so bad on the draw. I think we are going to just try and cheese a win. Four cuts, huh? Now these we can take out if we're taking out the other guy. We can sack it. Alright, let's see if we can do something silly here. We have both Kiki Jikis in hand. I think we have to mull this. Um, Sure. Yep. Yep. Um, um, do we just go for it and assume they don't try and kill us? Or do we just put a bunch of Boggart Trawlers on top? Try and win that way. Maybe they just don't Wasteland us. Snoop. Tiki Jiki. Tiki Jiki Snoop. So if they don't wasteland us, we have a chance. Human. What is this human? Alright, see what they name here. This will be an interesting one. Conspicuous Snoop. Oh shit, we have to fetch. Ugh. That was incredibly dumb. Okay, so I lost because I didn't... Forgot about that. Okay, well that was incredibly stupid. Okay, so I deserve to lose this. Alright, well that was terrible. Now we don't have our Kiki Jiki on top anymore. That was dumb. Sorry, we need our next card to be Kiki Jiki. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. We need the next card down to be our 2 of Kiki Jiki. That's it. That's the only way we can win this. Maybe there's a Dark Ritual line if we don't die next turn. Alright, well, maybe there's a Dark Ritual line if we don't die next turn, so let's see. Let's see what they got. I think next turn, if we don't die, we can beseech for another Goblin Recruiter and put Kiki Jiki back on top. New. Oh, we just dead the trap? Oh, we were gonna win next turn. We're at exactly 5, so we lose. Oh, we could have won by blocking with the recruiter. Oh, that's really stupid. We could have played around this by blocking the one that wasn't a unblockable with the recruiter, untap. We get the new recruiter and win. That was really stupid. And I deserve that. I punted. That's frustrating. Okay, here we go. We're on the plate. I think that's okay. Not the most blazing start out there, but actually, is it okay? So we need to find a Goblin Recruiter or like a Lackey or something. It's risky. I think it is a keep. We're getting Chancellor now. Red. Red. Saga. Alright. Not a terrible one. Okay, well that's a good start from our opponent. We could be in trouble. It's a very good start from our opponent. Jeez. Okay. That's a problem. Goblin Recruiter? No. And that's a completely dead draw because of Karn. I guess the Saga's pretty dead too. Yep. So this has to be probably a recruiter. Ooh, that is a recruiter. So we need Kiki Jiki. And if Kiki Jiki somehow dies, I think we just die. I don't see any point in doing anything else, really. Let's just see if Kiki Jiki works. Alright. They saw the line. We got lucky there, but I will take it. I don't know if they're on what kind of a deck they're on, really. It's Wormcoil, I guess it's Sphere Shops. If it's Sphere Shops, I'd rather just have, like, the Battle Cries. I think. Yep. Okay, that's bad. They mull, and I was like, yay. And Lotus. Oh, is it Jewel? Yeah. We don't have 3 red. Even if I go turn 1 Recruiter, turn 2 Snoop doesn't win. We still have to get to turn 3. Is that still the best line? I think if we get Lackey into play on turn 1, we can Recruiter turn 2. And turn 3, we draw, put in Snoop with Lackey and win anyway. Is that better? That might be better. I think this gives us extra functional mana. But they might have a force. They do. Okay. I think just in case we're going to play all that out. Okay, we're dead. If we draw Beseech the Mirror, we might be able to do something. Nope, now we can't. Now we're dead. um, I mean, there's no way we win, or we survive next turn. And we can't win this turn. So we have to draw Snoop, use Yawgmoth's Will to get... Now these are fetch lands. So we're just going to shuffle our deck. There's no way to do this. Next turn we can draw Snoop, play Snoop, but then we don't have haste. I think we're just dead. I think we just go to game 3. I actually think our best option might have just been do nothing. Try and draw a Beseech the Mirror. Actually, no, because the Vexing Bauble, the Beseech the Mirror is off. The fetch lands are going to kill us here. Even if we did survive, which we won't. I'm 1 mana short of Erebor, which is amusing. Which would have actually given us a good amount of power. Alright, so we'll just let them kill us. It's fine. Alright, so on I think actually the Squelchers are not terrible. I think the Borg plan I'm going to ditch. Or the Bauble and the Voidmere here. Let's try that. Interesting hand. We go turn 1 Lackey. We can turn 2 put a Snoop in the play. And then if we have another land, we could Dark Writ Demonic Tutor for Goblin Recruiter and win. If we draw a red source. Or if we just happen to have a Recruiter on top. I think that's worth it. If they have a force, they'll probably use it here. No. That's scary. Because they probably got something good if they're keeping 7 no force. Yeah. That qualifies. Ring. Yeah. That'll stop our Lackey plan. Which is alright. We can't target our opponent. Can't use Lackey to put anything in. And we pretty much certainly die next turn. So not the best situation. What would you do here? That ring protection, so good. Jeez. I think if we could have swung with Lackey, we could have just Demonic. We could have just got a Recruiter and won this turn. Probably should have like one no rod. Do I just get a Void Mirror and pray that's good enough? We can't kill him with Tendrils right now. Do we do red, then bring it back for black? Red. Yawgmoth's Will. We don't have double red. No, we do. We can, I think. We need at least one black. We have 4, 5, 8 mana. We need 6 for Void Mirror, 2 for Snoop, so I think we can do it all, right? Let's just get Snoop down first. That's going to cost 2. Then we have 2 for Demonic Tutor. Let's get Nether Void. And then if they can win through the Nether Void, so be it, I guess. But that's the best that we got. And we'll see what happens. So you want to keep playing stuff from the top, right? Cast. Cancel. Can we play this as a land? We can only cast it. I think we cast it just to counter it. That's fine. No. Snoop in. We can play the Boggart Trawler. Play. So F6 here. I guess that 1 damage mattered. Well, oh well. Should have put my other creature into play. They have to untap the Mana Vault here, or they die. Alright. Good one. That was a lot of fun. Nether Void, Nether Void too strong. Alright. Here we go. I think we do keep that. Certainly isn't perfect, but I don't think it's a mulligan. Yeah. I got a Lurrus. Looks like Lurrus control. Probably Bilbo. Yeah, they're testing Bilbo. Okay, that's pretty good. I wish I would have gone first. Don't want them to get a bunch of the Bilbo can replay the Lotus unlimited times. I don't love that. Mental misstep, that's frustrating. Okay. Got a wasteland. Mm-hmm. I can bring back the Lotus. This card's incredible. The last couple vintage challenges, the first week it's legal. It's done quite well. Now they can play Lurrus, replay Lotus again. And they've got a force in hand. They've still got a force, which is something. Well, can we try and win? And I've got one card in hand. Do we just try and go for it? I mean, there's a very good chance that they've got a counterspell in hand, right? And they can hardcast all of them, but like, does this get better for us? Like, does the situation improve if we don't just jam here? This makes me feel like they do have a counter spell. Yeah. Makes sense. We're in trouble now. Probably should not F6 in case they draw another wasteland. How do I turn this off? Turn off auto yields. Yeah. There's so many cards that pretty much just bury us right now. Like, stock up. Tutors. Really anything they can flash back with Bilbo. That's bad. My heal spellbomb. That is something they can flash back with Bilbo and does screw up our Yawgmoth's will. That is a problem. I am glad we went for it last turn, even though we are now dead. So our Yawgmoth's will is dead. But I guess to be fair, they had a removal spell instead of a spell pierce last turn. We could have just tried to win. Okay, well, we did our best. We did our best. We did our best. Maybe I should not even shown. I mean, I should have just scooped in response to that, to be honest. I probably should have just scooped in response to that. We have to cast this to clear their yard, but realistically, it's too late. If it gets countered, we can just go the next game. Probably already go the next game, but We had a window there where they had one card in hand. They had the Spell Pierce, and that was it. Otherwise, I mean, between Bilbo and Lurrus control with frogs could always like snowball, get to draw a card extra turn every turn. But with Bilbo, the snowballing is going to happen so much harder and faster because you can replay things like Stock Up and Recall, etc., etc. And it also provides, mana reduction. And they can just use the seal to bounce our guy if they want. They've got 5 cards in hand. They're gonna keep drawing and stuff. I think. I don't care enough to keep playing. They're like 1% out or whatever it is. We have to try and kill Bilbo. All right. Why are we frozen? But they have Bilbo. They don't have many other creatures. I think maybe on the draw we side into this, but keep this set up on the play. Maybe. Maybe we don't even do that, do we? Let's just try and be... Yeah. Let's try and... Just try and be aggressive on the play, and then maybe game 2 we side into the Voidwalkers, Ley Lines, and then try and Helm combo maybe, if we get a game 3. Which feels unlikely. I think this is a pretty bad matchup. I mean, I'll keep it. I think maybe we just kind of want to bait a counter on the Lackey. They want to counter the Lackey. I think that's okay. Do I do this trying to get a Goblin Recruiter? I think I do this trying to get a Goblin Recruiter. All right, you've seen our hand. We have one thing we can do, and we shall do it. Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's not a bad one. So we need Snoop, Torch Courier, Kiki Jiki, maybe a Bolg after that, honestly, because we could just cast it. Or do we want to Snoop? Maybe. Let's build in some redundancy with the combo. So Goblin Recruiter on top. And Snoop. And then Kiki Jiki. And Torch Courier. And Snoop again. Let's see if they want to counter our Lotus. They do. They pitched a Psychic Frog. They know our hand. They know we've got a Cavern in our hand, so from their probe, so they know we've got nothing. They kept something on top. That's obviously bad for us. Sure. Time Walk. A second Wasteland would kill us. Yeah, there's one. Goblin. Can't play it because they wastelanded us. I don't think there's anything that punishes us at 1 mana. If something does, that's on me. Oh well. What do you got? They got a removal spell and they're trying to figure out the timing window. I mean, we just got to go for it, right? Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe I should have. Actually, I think this is wrong. I think I just go to their upkeep and do it. They've got a removal spell and they're looking for a timing window. This is the wrong way of doing this. Okay, well, for exactly that reason, this was wrong. I mean, we were going to do in their upkeep, and they were going to kill it anyway, so. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I didn't plan this properly. If we had another Kiki Jiki on top, we could give this haste right away and win. But we don't. I also don't have the mana to cast that, so we can't win. So that Lotus was a big problem, actually. That Lotus was a problem for us. But they have another removal spell, then we still lose. Oh. And I got two more draws to find one. They don't have one already. Okay. I think they're digging for a removal spell, I assume. That's bad for us. Yeah. Ooh. All right. Can't play that, right? So they gotta, if they have a last card fatal push, then they win. I think we still go for it. Honestly, I think if we get pushed here, we just lose. But I guess we put another Snoop on top just in case, I guess. So Kiki Jiki. I mean, maybe Munitions Expert. In theory, this could get it done. You got another Fatal Push? I think I'll probably just scoop another Fatal Push. Six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we got plenty. Just do a couple more for fun. You gotta push now. No. Sling-Gang. Sling-Gang. Highlighted. Sling-Gang. Sling-Gang on top. All right. I think maybe we do board into the Leyline Helm combo. Try and cheese a win that way. Is that even possible? I think the lackeys on the draw are a tough sell. Maybe that's a little better. I think trying to win on the aggro route could be tough. Maybe that's the... I mean, going wide is not the worst plan. Maybe this is dumb. Maybe I should just be trying to play wide. I just feel like with all of their value, it's going to be tough. But maybe this is dumb. Because the battle cries, I mean, the battle cries could be a plan, right? Like the battle cries, Sling-Gang attacking is not the worst idea. I'm not sure. Let's try this. I could see merits for both this pivot, but I could also see merits for the jeez, it's terrible. Just trying to play a creature-based game. Well, they're keeping 7. That's bad for the home team. I would like a Mox Ruby. That's late. You were supposed to already be in play, then I could try and win with Helm. Yeah, if you were already in play, this would be a lot easier. So Torch Courier. Why are we frozen? Please unfreeze game. Cheeky Cheeky. Snoop. We can't. I think that's all we want. Cheeky Cheeky. Torch Courier. See what they got for us. I mean, I don't think this works, but we are going to play the hand we're dealt. That's bad. Okay, it's very bad. And then they get it back with Bilbo. This interaction's insane. This card's so good. But the thing is, if we had our ley line in play, this would not have happened. We just drew it after the fact. On a multi-6, it wasn't going to mull up, but... And that's the thing, right? Like... This card's useless if we would have had our... started with our ley line. So that this means they've got a fatal push. Probably. Assume this gets Lotus, otherwise they're tapped out, which would be bad for them. So I assume this gets a Lotus. If it doesn't, we could win, but I don't think that's going to happen. Not after Ancestral Recall, Time Walk. But if for some reason they don't get a Lotus, we could win. Lotus, yes. Oh, that was their first turn. Oh, because they got 2 extra turns at Bilbo. No, they were completely fine and never in any danger. So we've had 2 turns. They're on turn 5 and are going to be replaying. Okay, so we'll scoot to that. Here we go. We're on the play. They don't have... I mean, we can go Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor, get Black Lotus, Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Demonic Tutor, Black Lotus, Yawgmoth's Will with 1 floating, Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, Black Lotus, Demonic Tutor. I mean, this dies to everything, but I think it's like a turn 1 win. If they don't, I kind of want to try it. Oh, okay, we died. um. Okay. All right, well, fair enough. Chancellor Trigger has stopped us. That's a problem. So that bauble is a problem as well. Hmm. Yeah. We knew this hand was risky. I knew this hand was risky. Okay. Well, that was on me because I should not have kept that. But I was greedy. I was greedy. Um, Still useful for Void Mirror. Yeah, I mean, I knew things could go wrong, but we had a turn 1 win pretty much. We could get our combo in play with Vexing Bauble as well, I think. At the very least, maybe even Nether Void. I'm not sure quite how much mana we could have made. We needed eight mana for Nether Void. I think we could have got there, but it's a little iffy. At the very least, Vexing Bauble, so. Well, they weren't on Lurrus. I don't think it was completely crazy. But obviously that did. The no red or black mana, so that's a problem. I mean, Are we just hoping they can't play a creature on turn 1? Seems crazy. How do I do this? X. No. Sure. Sure. Let's see what they got for us. Cleric. Okay. Guys are big. It's funny. You guys are big because they're 3/3s from the Bolg. Okay. Well, it's pretty amusing, isn't it? I think on the draw, I will drop this plan, though. Do I want Battle Cry Goblin, or I just want to try and potentially cheese Leyline Helm? Which I don't want the Nether Void or the Vexing Bauble on the draw either. I think maybe we do just go for the... I don't think the Battle Cry... Maybe it is okay against Mono Initiative. I feel like just because of the mana and everything, it's going to be tough. So let's just do like a Beseech win. without Tendrils. Oh, we can find a Beseech or a Helm. This is good. Potentially. A lot of it depends on their hand, though, obviously. Okay, well. That means we're probably just dead regardless of what we do. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, double creature turn 1 is going to kill us regardless, so... Anointed Peacekeeper. Yeah. I assume they hit the Ruby. Ooh, that's a problem. I don't think we can beat that. Okay. Yeah, we're not beating this. We needed a normal creature combo hand. Which, to be fair, we could have mulliganed harder for, but the turn 1 Conqueror is always going to be tricky. No. Might as well play this. We need a Beseech. No, we can't, because the Conqueror is going to stop any of the mana from the Beseech, right? I think. I assume we're at 16, so 3, 6, 9. Would a Beseech win next turn? I mean, 8 spells. 1, 2, Beseech, 3. Yawgmoth's Will, 4. Sacking the Ruby. I mean, we'll try it. I think Beseech the Mirror might be an out on the Tendrils plan. So we get one more turn. As long as they don't play anything else. Yeah, we get 11. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11. As long as they don't play anything else, we get one more turn where a Beseech could win. I think. Because they're at 8. Or 16, I mean. We only need 8 Storm. Yeah. Beseech. 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 No. Wrong card. Okay, we're dead. But that was, you know, still having Beseech as an out there was kind of interesting. All right, pretty happy with that. That was a really fun league, and solid result there. Hard fought to game 3 every round at the least. If you haven't watched the rounds yet, and that's all the rounds yet, that's fair. I mean, we did go 2-3, but this round here against Wicked Easy, in game 3, I just punted. All I had to do to win that match was to block one of the attackers, one that I could block. If you go back, you'll see it and understand it with our Goblin Recruiter. And the next turn, because we knew it was on top of our library with Conspicuous Snoop, we could have Dark Ritual Beseech into another Recruiter and one on the spot. But I didn't really bother with the math. we took 10 damage after the trigger from Dungeoneer, and then they played another Dungeoneer and trapped us to kill us from 15. I didn't see that coming. I wasn't really paying attention. And I'll be honest here, I played this league on a Saturday night after going out for a little bit. I was not operating at full capacity there on Saturday night and did not really do any math. But all I had to do to win that match was to block. So it really should have been a 3-2 if I wasn't playing silly. And then we lost, some close ones at the end there. Even this one here, game 3, all we had to do to win, we had a turn to win where we drew Beseech or Demonic Tutor, we would win. So that one was still very close to the end. Game 3 against Mihari, we just got blown out by Bilbo. Bilbo's extremely strong. We had a scenario where, if we drew Leyline with, our 8th card, if we had Leyline in our opener, we may have been able to, have a very different game. Wasn't going to, an automatic win or anything, but it would have been a very different game. So really, really interesting league there. And these 2 matches we won were just really cool. We got to we won 2 matches with Bolg. We got to win 2 matches by going Goblin Lackey into Bolg on turn 2, and then our opponent shortly after scooping, which was really awesome. A lot of times when I play decks with a new card, it's like a 1 or 2. A lot of times, you won't see it, it won't do too much. But I am happy to say that Bolg did win multiple matches, which is pretty sweet. I don't know. I really enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. Have you got ideas for this deck? I'm happy to hear them. This is really fun. I like playing these combo, aggro combo hybrid decks. They're pretty cool. Remember to subscribe, all that jazz as well. I'll very much appreciate it. But yeah, let me know what you think. All right, see you next time.